and welcome to our VPTV series, Behind Every Successful Leader, where we celebrate the power of virtual support in business growth. I'm Holly Copsey, founder of Virtually Priceless and the Visionary VA Circle, and I want to highlight the incredible impact VAs have in making businesses more successful. My guest today is the fabulous Joanne Munro of the VA Handbook. Jo began her journey as a virtual assistant in 2009 and founded the VA Handbook website in 2014. Her mission is to enable women to escape the traditional 9-to-5 routine and build fulfilling, flexible careers as virtual assistants. Jo has successfully trained over 1,000 VAs, many of whom have received industry awards and gone on to VA agencies. And I am very lucky to have been one of her students. Repeatedly voted by VAs as the UK's preferred VA trainer, Jo also runs the largest Facebook community for virtual assistants in the UK, as well as a dedicated membership group designed to help established virtual assistants grow their businesses. I'm a member of all her groups and can personally vouch for just how brilliant they are. So Jo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's very exciting.
So hopefully that intro has given everyone a good overview of your business, but perhaps you can share a little bit more about what it is that you actually do day to day in your business.
As I've already said, I help women, mainly women, set up and run virtual assistant businesses. So being on this podcast, first of all, this interview is quite meta, I have to say, definitely. I do so much actually. I think that it's probably fair to describe me more in a way as a content creator, because when I look at what I do every day, it's mainly writing newsletters, writing social media posts. You know, I have, as we mentioned, 3 different groups and I use LinkedIn. Also, I do some video stuff at the moment as well for Instagram, and I write blog posts. So I think day to day, a lot of what I do is writing, creating content.
Yeah, and being everywhere is hard work.
It's really hard work, yeah.
So at what point in your business journey did you realise you needed to bring in some virtual support for yourself?
That's a really interesting question, actually. I know that I've worked with my current virtual assistant for 6.5 years, and I did have a virtual assistant before that, maybe nearly a year, and I worked a little bit with someone before then. It was more really when I just realised that I couldn't cope anymore. So there's a lot of things that I do in my business that don't necessarily require me to do them. It was more really once the group started, the main VA Handbookers Facebook group started to get big. It's got 24,500 people in it now, but even once it started to get, I'd say about 10,000, you just can't be in there all the time. And it's really busy work. It's quite distracting. So I knew that I needed someone to help me with that and to make sure that everything, just all the plates kept spinning. And also a lot of customer service emails where I would answer some of the questions when someone was asking me quite a big question. But when it was something like, I can't find my login, or have I got the latest the updated version of this document, that type of thing, then it did make more sense that I hired someone to help me with those things.
Yeah. So what kind of support do you have, and what tasks does your fabulous VA, Anna Rogers, who I know, what does she handle for you?
Well, I have, as mentioned, I have actually worked with Anna for 6.5 years. And what's interesting is that I have never met Anna. So Anna lives in the UK. She lives near Manchester. We've talked about maybe meeting this year, but we've never actually physically met.
Yeah.
And I think actually we were saying yesterday that we've probably only seen each other on Zoom about 5 times. We are not really that type of person. So what does she help with? So Anna has a tech background, and it means that she can help me very much with not just the customer service type things, but and other sort of, I suppose, general things, like she will check my newsletters and make sure that there's nothing glaringly obvious, which is like, you've written the word "so" 20 times, or you've put the wrong date in there. It's that date is a Thursday, not a Tuesday. Yeah. She will also She really takes a lot of pressure off me with my Facebook groups, all of them. So there's lots of little tiny admin things like that post needs deleting after this time. That one goes up. That link needs to go in. That happens. That video gets deleted after a certain amount of time. That one's put into a different category or guide, whatever. But she will also come up with ideas for me. She will tell me that I don't have a post for Saturday. Hey, you haven't done Saturday's post yet. That type of thing. She does a lot of tech stuff. So it's hard to explain really, but there are so many different types of moving parts, from Calendly to sending digital downloads via Sendowl, my sales pages with lead pages, my marketing platform, mail marketing platform is ConvertKit, or Kit as it's now known. I use WordPress. God, I mean, that's even off the top of my head. There's so many. She's amazing at spotting mistakes. So she'll say, right, remember when we do this thing that we need to change that tag or that rule needs changing, because she understands how all of these systems slot together.
Yeah.
Some of the systems she already knew. So it's like she came to me going, I understand how to use WordPress, for example. Other things I taught her. She'd never used Sendowl. She'd never used Lifter LMS, which is my course platform. But because she was very tech-minded, she'd use similar ones. So she knew how they worked. She knew what maybe might fall down, where there might be pitfalls, what might be the problem. And she's not scared to just dive into a new platform like that.
Yeah.
So she helps with many things. She actually only does 20 hours a month.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And I know how present she is, and I see how much she does for you as well. And I'm really surprised to hear it's such a low amount. It's incredible what someone can achieve in such a small amount of time.
It really is true. And especially with the Facebook group. So she will go in there. She knows my content as well as I do pretty much. She not only we have 6 moderators. They are all volunteers. They have a rota and a manager. I didn't even know they had a rota. And manages the rota. She manages holidays, when they're going to be off. She recruits them, onboards them. She manages the group, accepting members to the group. It's a huge group. And that's just that one group. She also manages and helps with the other 2 groups as well.
Amazing.
So that's a massive part of what she does. But because she's so good at it and has been doing it for so long, she can do it quite quickly now.
Yeah. And you don't even know she's doing it.
I don't even know she's doing it. Yeah. Wow. It's really helpful having, again, someone that knows these systems. And something I found that's quite beneficial is when something has gone wrong and I say, can you contact tech support? She understands how to explain to them what's happened, and she will say things like, I've tried X, Y, and Z. I think that potentially it's this. And so she saves me a lot of time and money doing that, because she can already try things out herself. But also she understands how to communicate with any support systems when something does fall over, or work out why it might have fallen over. Yeah. So having that techie VA, and I'm also, a techie person. Yeah. We're a perfect match. Yeah. We really are.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. So how has having a VA changed the way you work or helped you grow your business?
Many ways, really. It's not good, but I'll probably give you 10 reasons and then later I'll think of 10 more, It means that I can get on more with the creative aspects. I know that most business owners are going to say this. Admin isn't going anywhere. There's always things to do. It doesn't matter whether you are, whatever sort of company that you run. You could be somebody that's, a plumber, to a jewelry designer, to a yoga teacher, to a CEO. You have tasks that don't necessarily need to be done by you, but they are essential tasks in your business that help it move and flow and stay together. And having her, she runs my business when I'm away as well. Knowing that when she's away, I'm just like, when she comes back, I'm like, oh my God, thank God you're back. Just knowing that I can go off and do something for a day and that there's not going to be any drama. There's going to be no panic. There's nothing really that she can't manage. Yeah. Something, say if somebody wants a rare refund, then I do that because she doesn't have access to, PayPal or Stripe, that type of thing, but that will wait. So there isn't anything that she can't manage. And that it's that peace of mind, and it also means that I have time to be creative.
And that you can actually switch off, right? It's also important.
Yeah, and also especially with the advancement of AI, it's been the biggest revolution in not just the virtual assistant industry, but every industry since probably the internet. It's huge. And the fact that I'm very interested in that, but so is Anna, means that we will often share resources. We will talk about courses that we've been on. We'll share information. We chat a lot about that. And that is really helpful to me because it's hard to stay on top of this stuff. So knowing that my virtual assistant is also as interested as I am, it means that I am better informed as well. And that's really changed things.
Yeah. So it's a real strategic partnership then.
Yes, because I love learning and I like having time to learn new things. And I do share information with her. I learned this thing today and I share that with her. I might send her a link, and knowing that she's equally interested and is at a similar stage as me, that's really helped my business as well. Stay on top of advancements.
Yeah, love that. So what would you say to any business owners who are hesitant about hiring virtual support?
I would first of all think about why you're hesitant, what might be standing in the way. Something that I think comes up quite a bit is that, and I have been guilty of this, that you think, well, I'm going to have to train them and I'm too busy to train them. So it's a catch-22. You're so busy, you need help, but you're so busy, but you haven't got time to train them. Something that I think is really important is finding the right match. And there's a few different aspects of that. One is, like I say, about lifestyle. Anna has a similar lifestyle to me. You know, I might message her and she might reply, and it's like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday, because Anna loves working like I do. And she doesn't have any children. And so she works at really odd hours as I do. We have a very much a task-based retainer rather than time. So I don't care when the tasks are done. So she might go out and do things in the day and then she'll do that stuff at night. So finding somebody that matches your work style will make a big difference. But also, if you have a very techie business, then find a techie VA. Don't get a regular VA and then try and train them, because that's going to be really time consuming. And then you'll always worry. They'll always worry. I found out this, from firsthand experience.
Yeah.
It's just not a good match.
Yeah.
So if you're worrying about delegating because you're too busy, then there's that. Also, do you want your VA just to get on with stuff, or do you want them to check in? So being very clear really about the type of relationship that you want. Some business owners prefer a virtual assistant that is like, here's a task I would like you to do, and then they go off and do it. Sometimes if they are not given enough information, for example, to do the task, some virtual assistants might guess. That may or may not be what you want them to do. Sometimes you want them to work it out for themselves. You want someone that can. Sometimes you don't. You want them to check back in.
Yeah.
Some people get frustrated because their virtual assistant is constantly checking in. You're like, I've hired you because you know what you're doing, right? Just get on and do it.
Yeah.
So be quite clear, I think, about how you're going to communicate with them, what type of relationship you want with them, what sort of tasks. I prioritize giving the virtual assistant tasks that will immediately either sort of make or save you money or time. So things like inbox detoxes, if you have a lot of emails, because that is an emotional thing. You feel you've been unchained. You have all this more time. It might be that you have like your regular to-do list, but you have the other to-do list.
The one you never get to.
One day. Yeah. So the virtual assistant can either do the day-to-day stuff that it needs doing, but not necessarily by you, so that you can get on with the bigger picture, the strategy, serving your clients better, or they can help you with the thing that the bigger someday, one day list. It might be that you want to, I don't know, set up a membership group or a podcast and you just don't know where to start, but the virtual assistant does. So working out how to use them to make or save you time or money and prioritize that, I think that's probably my best advice.
Yeah. And I think also it's important for you to understand that you can bring in different people to do different things. You know, if you need someone to do that techie stuff, then great. If you need someone to come and do more of the admin, if you need someone to come in and do specifically social media or finance, there are people with all those skill sets, and it doesn't have to be the same person. That's the beauty of the flexible support.
Yes, I have this on my list, and I'm really glad that you said that because I would have forgotten. Your virtual assistant can't do everything. They are just, they're great, they're amazing, but they are just not Yoda.
Don't look for a
They
unicorn.
just can't do everything. Yeah, and I think their job is to get shiz done for you. So it might be that you need a website or you need a new logo, etc. The virtual assistant is not going to learn how to be a graphic designer suddenly, you know, but they will arrange one for you.
Yeah.
It might be that you need to move house. They're not going to come round with their car and move your house for you, but they will arrange a removal company for you.
Yeah.
So to know the limitations, they are the person that can get things done for you, and they're not going to know how to do absolutely everything. It's impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And what are your top tips for working effectively with a VA? It sounds like you and Anna have a great relationship, but for anyone that's just started working with someone or thinking about taking on a VA, what advice would you give them?
It's a good question. I was talking to another virtual assistant trainer at an event, and they were saying if you still manage, you know, if you still communicate with your VA via WhatsApp, then, you know, it's a big, and I was like, yeah, that's me. I don't use systems, you know, those big, ironically, because I actually work in quite a techie way, I don't use things like Monday or ClickUp or Airtable or etc. We keep it very simple, and I very much believe in keeping it simple. We communicate via WhatsApp and email, and we use Google Drive together. That's like literally it.
Yeah.
So I would say work out what communication channel, and if you have working hours that you want to work with your VA, and it's a discussion between you. So some virtual assistants might say, no, they don't use WhatsApp. They want to use a different channel. And that's something that you work out between you. So work out how you want to communicate, what platforms, when you're available, when they're available, how often. Remember that your virtual assistant will and should charge for everything. So even a 5-minute, 10-minute phone call, it's time that they are spending on your business, and they should be reimbursed for that. Yeah. And I would say it might be that the virtual assistant has a system, or Anna actually, and I do use Trello sometimes, but it's mainly that she uses it to track the tasks. She also outsources to an associate. She didn't originally. I was like, no, I want to work just with you. But however, like I say, there are tasks that may be a bit more admin-y or research tasks. For example, I do a newsletter, and what I do is we get the associate to do a summary of that. So it's like, these are the links that I put in. This is what. So when I'm looking, when I want to find something. So 2 years ago in April, what was it? What did I tell them? I can find that information, and that's a waste of Anna's time. Yeah. Because she's so techie. So I'd say sometimes the virtual assistant might come to you with a set of systems that they already use. They might say, oh, here's a platform like Trello or Slack or something, and they might introduce that to you. Or it could be that you tell them how you want to work. And I think it really does vary. I'd say to just start as simple as possible. Yeah. It doesn't have to be really complicated.
No, absolutely. Great advice. And finally, if Anna, your VA, will watch this, which I'm sure she will, what would you like to say to her?
Oh God, please never leave me. Literally just move in. I think Anna has just saved me so much time, money, energy, headspace, sanity, everything over the years, the 6.5 years we've been working together. It's sort of like working with another version of myself, but also comes with a unique set of skills and insight. Just thank you for being so tolerant of my WhatsApp messages. Here's the thing. Oh, hi, by the way. Good morning. That's another thing, another way that we communicate very well. When both of us are not really fans of fluffy communication, we'll literally just get straight to it. Our emails are just like, we don't even say hi, it's straight in there. So for just kind of thank you for getting me, I guess, and for looking after my business and taking care of it as well as I could take care of it myself.
Oh, that's really lovely. Well, it's so great to hear what impact she's made just in that 20 hours a month. I think that's incredible. And I think we've quite
She
an
never
eye
leaves
opener.
me, just never.
But I think that's quite an eye opener for people who probably think that actually the amount of stuff you reeled off there probably takes an awful lot of time and effort. And actually, it doesn't. When you have a specialist doing the job and you've just managed to, shift that off of your mind and giving it to someone else, it just has a huge impact. So that's really great to hear. I'll share all the links, obviously, with the episode and stuff. But for anyone that wants to connect with you or learn more about the VA Handbook, where's the best place to find you?
I would say that it would be LinkedIn.
Okay.
Which is Jojo Munro. Actually, there's a link on the bottom of my website. My website, the VA Handbook, handbook.com. But I'd probably say LinkedIn.
Yeah,
is the best place.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. Great to hear what a fantastic job Anna is doing for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.